Good evening everyone and welcome to the 13th round of CRL Tier 3 in Azerbaijan. It is a sprint qualifying and I do have a very special guest alongside me for tonight's race.
Good evening everybody, I'm Waldok.
Indeed it is Wildog. He can't race unfortunately because of a biking accident, but he is here with me, so it's all fine. Unluckily he can't score any points for his constructor Ferrari, but let's hope the little one will make up for it. It is indeed a sprint qualifying, one-shot qualifying, then a 13-lap race, and then the actual race. Well, Doc, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Very excited for this race, as well. The sprint race at Baku should be good. We get maybe mixed conditions like sprint race dry and the race wet will make it even more interesting. But
yeah,
Baku is always good to see.
Yeah, definitely. Only one real chance to get the lap time on the board, and especially with the castle sector, it is very tricky to do it. We have also a debutant here in Tier 3, funny ass Chimp. Normally he reserves in Tier 4, but today we needed him here in Tier 3 in the Haas. Let's see what he can put up the board for us. Victor Mean as well in the Alpine, reserving 17 drivers to go for that one lap around the circuit, where the walls are very close to the track limits. Easy to invalidate as well in some points and easy to screw up the lap.
So easy to spin when you come out of that corner onto the straight with S's. You go where Kimi Räikkönen pinned his lap in 2018.
Yeah, the last real corner, I think yeah. Indeed, the curb's a bit too high there to fully take him. Turn 16, that is very tricky. Sector 3, indeed. After that corner is just all straight. So there's indeed, except for the S's. Yeah, so we are gonna see the straight line speed of the cars in Sector 3. A lot of overtaking opportunities, of course, here. Turn 3, turn 1 mainly. Overtaking shouldn't be too difficult. The straight is 2.2 kilometers long, so just slipstreaming and you'll be fine. And it is indeed dry weather for the one-shot qualifying. What times do you expect, and who are you expecting to see on pole here?
On pole, I think we'll be having either. I think Quickler's really fast, but I think Lil Juan can give him a good challenge. So I'm hoping Lil Juan.
Yeah, definitely your teammate as well. Not really too surprised by that. Yeah, the little one, he has gotten pole in the last couple of races, so I wouldn't be surprised if he managed to clinch it here as well. I'm probably gonna just see his lap. That will start in 10 seconds. The gap after Imola, it has widened up a little bit at the front to 71 points, and the little one is gonna have to do something very special in the last 3 races to grab the championship away from Quickler.
Indeed, after a drama in the last lap last week.
Being hit by Marconi, I believe it was.
It was lots of drama.
Yeah, Marconi was on for his first win in 70 races, but unfortunately contact in Acro Minerali and it all gone to smithereens. But after the first 2 corners, Victor Mean, our reserve, is in P1. I'm just staying on board with the little one. And it's all just tussling up the order.
Yeah, it's changing pretty fast.
Indeed it is. Both Avatar is not really having too strong of a first sector.
Indeed, Quickler seems to be only in P5 at the moment.
AFL, big surprise in P2.
And Lil Juan at the moment, leading the way.
Indeed, Rari Huntsman with a retirement already. Jack on Christopher as well. Quickly following him, and the little one with a big moment coming out of the castle.
Though the retirements were probably made in the castle section. Rest in peace to the victims of the castle.
That probably won't be the last we'll be seeing there. The little one, he dropped down to P5 after the caster, but now back up to P3. Makoni and Quickler though still ahead of him, and it looks like Makoni is on for pole.
Can Makoni break the streak? Well, not winning a race in 71 races. He has a sprint race to go through and then a normal race to go through, so it's a very, very long weekend for him.
Definitely Tom tipped up another retirement, and I think Makoni is gonna do it. No, Quickler!
No!
Just on the line. It just switches Quickler on pole for the sprint race, and Makoni just followed him in second with the little one in third. So definitely the surprise of Makoni in second, but the usual suspects in the little one and Makoni, or the little one and Quickler in the top 3. But he has of course to see this race out.
Yep, I definitely think if Little Juan didn't have that moment, he will have beat Quickler, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Though the sector 1 of him was pretty matched, 34.817. Yeah, oh, it's slower, 40.3 seconds.
Pretty close in the midfield, the P5 around P8, all within the 10th. But Quickler indeed pole, Makoni P2, the little one P3, the Leon in P4. Then it was Fandango in P5, Dragon of Speed P6, AFL in P7, Victor Mean, that guy Draper and Mazzles rounding up the top 10. Gautier Levelon in P11, Funny Ass Chimp on his debut in P12. With Murphy the last of the guys who actually set a lap time in P13, and then it's Tom Tip-Top, Jacko, Christopher and Rory Huntsman at the back of the grid for the sprint race.
So who will go for the softs and who will start on the mediums here?
Well, the top 10 of course have to start on the softs. So that's
yeah. Forgot about that, to be fair.
it's indeed different than what we're used to be seeing with the full qualifying. So indeed, top 10 on softs outside, probably some guys on the mediums. Only 13 laps though.
Turn 1 can be insane as it is a pretty short run to turn 1. You arrive there pretty quickly.
Indeed, the initial phase of the start is going to be very crucial in here. Drive for this race as well, luckily.
Yep. And maybe can Makoni or Little Juan or maybe even Leon lead into turn 1.
Yeah, Leon would have to have a very insane start for that to happen, but we've seen crazier things happen, of course.
Indeed.
In F2 as well this weekend. Orion Asani started P6 and then led into turn 1, so nothing is impossible.
He got ahead of the leaders pretty quickly, I think, by around the time that he would have been turn 1. Baku, he was leading. So anything is possible.
Definitely.
If you just get that perfect start.
Yeah, tricky to do, of course. P12, P2, P15, all on the mediums. Funny else, Jim, Murphy, Tom Tip-Top and Jacko taking that gamble. Rory Huntsman following them, and in between them it is Christopher in the Mercedes on the fresher compound of tires. Got the Eleflon in P11 on softs as well. So the top 11 probably all gonna stay pretty close on the opening phase, and then we have to look out for Christopher making his way through the pack.
Indeed.
Gonna be interesting to see that.
And as well to see what Rory Huntsman can do the race run of last week. I know he used to be very strong here at Baku. Used to be pretty good here.
Maybe he still is indeed, just made one mistake on the lap, invalidated somewhere, maybe even turn 1, and they just gave up after. So he starts last, but we've seen starting last in the sprint race isn't over yet. Last year in Brazil, a certain individual managed to do it. Indeed, he managed to do a last to first in 2 races.
And as well, now Rory Huntsman doesn't have 26 laps. I think 26 laps to get to P1, but he has 39 laps to do it.
Indeed, he has. Job's making a little bit easier for him. Maybe with a full sprint or with a full qualifying, he wouldn't have started so last, but we'll never know because it is a sprint. Points for the top 5, and let's see who those top 5 are gonna be.
Indeed. Let's see what championship leader Quickler can do into turn 1. Can he hold off Marconi or will Marconi get past? Marconi seemed to be in good form in the last couple of races.
Definitely is. He has been there or thereabouts, just never really matched up all for him. The stars never really aligned for the house, but maybe today is the day that he finally breaks the curse and wins after 72 races.
I think that probably is the start of CRL 71 races to be fair.
I think maybe he won 16 races in maybe in the first season, but it is the lights are coming on the board. It's 4 and 5 right now, and they are out and away they go. Does Marconi have a good start? It doesn't really look like it. He tucks in behind Quicker, and I think they're just staying in position. The little one on the outside of Marconi, and he does make the pass and up into P2. Indeed, a Haas in the back. That is Funny as Chimp going round. Marconi back to P3. Leon and Dragon staying where they begun. Let's see if they're a bit more carnage further back. It doesn't really look like it. Mario Huntsman with a good start from last place already up into P12. Yeah. Indeed.
5 positions gained.
Battle with Murphy behind Jacko between both AlphaTauris and Murphy by staying off the curves, making his way past the Alfa Romeo. Now already in the positions, and Vanias Chimp is making his way back to the grid as well, because now everyone is bunched up and they will just lose time.
Pete Leon as well will be looking to get past Marconi as soon as possible if he wants to get with to Little Juan and maybe even Quickler.
Yeah, definitely is. He is pretty close to Marconi, especially just before the caster section. And with Marconi, he is looking like struggling to keep up with the little one and Quickler, already almost out of the DRS. Of course, you only need to be in that 1 second by the start of lap 3. But the closer you are...
Murphy just nearly had a crash as well.
Indeed, they had a pretty close moment. Christopher into the back of Murphy, and Fandango is looking to have a move on Christopher, and he does. Christopher without a front wing.
Yeah, he is. I was looking at it thinking, doesn't he have a front wing? Yeah, seemed to have crashed somewhere. Maybe gas lost or something.
Maybe it's a one with that incident with Funny Ass Jim, but the little one on Quickler going side to side into turn 1, and I think they are still side to side. I thought for a moment Quickler was backing out of that one, but it made a little bit of contact. Will banging is still side to side into turn 2. A little bit more contact, and the little one almost. Oh!
And they touch.
And it's Quickler in the wall.
That's
huge.
The tensions are rising between the two championship contenders.
The first real time they collided, I think.
Yeah, it's Max and Lewis all over again.
Just happened all a bit too late. AFL squeezing Quickler almost into the wall as well. Yeah, Quickler, this is gonna be huge for his race, because there isn't a safety car in this sprint qualifying.
It's not the first time he gets spun around by a Ferrari at Baku as well.
Was that you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had some thought that it was indeed you, but because this all happened, the little one dropped back to P4, and the one inheriting the race lead, it is Marconi.
Marconi up for a big chance here to maybe win the sprint race.
He probably wants to win the actual race, but sprint race is something.
But Leon is gaining bits by bits on Marconi. You'll be looking to maybe try and plan a move, as Marconi seems to get a better exit out of that corner.
The DRS isn't activated yet, and I think Leon is in the driver's seat. A lot more ERS as well. Marconi is looking like indeed low, and the little one making a move on Dragon on speed. I don't think it is going to be too tough for him just by using the ERS. Indeed, just Leon flies past the McLaren.
Leon and Marconi are pretty close as well. Less than 3 times. Oh no, it's bigger than 3 times again.
Just the dirty after the first corner. Jacko into the pit lane. I wonder if he had damage or well, or is this just a strategic move from the AlphaTauri? I wonder.
I think it's yes, no right side. Yeah, he's no right hand side. Quickler also arrived in the pit box without a front wing.
And he probably leaves with one, so that's beneficial for him. Onto the mediums he goes, but the win on the sprint race is probably already gone for him. And I think Marconi and Leon are gonna be the ones to battle it out, unless of course one of those make a mistake.
Indeed. And maybe if Little Juan can catch up, because if they battle, they will lose time. And that will give Little Juan an opportunity to maybe try and catch them.
Very true. Especially in this middle sector, I think, with Makoni providing that dirty eye to Leon. Little one having a little bit of a wobble on the exit of Castle, I think, but he is managing to get closer and closer to Leon, already dropping Dragon as well out of his DRS, so he won't have the pressure from behind. It's only beneficial for him. Makoni already almost derating after lap 3, so I think Leon is gonna be able to get past here pretty easily.
Indeed, yeah. Makoni not too saving, not doing much saving with CRS there.
Indeed, and I think it is gonna cost him here. Already going to the left to break the toe from Leon, but I don't think the Red Bull will be needing the toe. And indeed he is.
He's spitting. He's going for the undercut.
A very aggressive undercut, and in the meantime AFL has DNF'd in the S's.
Oh dear.
Onto the main straight.
Probably press the overtake button and spun the car.
Indeed, very likely he's done that, and on the left hand side just into the wall, and he will be starting last in the actual race. Victor Mean as well as Draper into the pit lane alongside, of course, with Makoni. And that is the interesting part, where Makoni will come out compared to Leon. The little one, I think, making a little bit of a mistake, not being of having that pace to catch up to Leon and really drop Dragon, because Dragon is still there or thereabout, and the gap between himself and Leon has only widened.
Seems to be struggling. Did he pick up damage somewhere maybe, or did he damage his front wing a little bit while the contact with Wickler happens?
That definitely could have happened. Maybe just a tiny piece of damage as he got very close to the walls, of course, in the castle. I think maybe just a very light green bit of damage that we can't see. Although in the castle he gained time on Leon, and with damage that is very tough to do, unless of course Leon made a mistake there. I think that Ferrari car is still holding together.
Indeed, and if Little Juan can start P2 as well, that would be really good for him as well. As long as he starts far ahead of Quickler, that will be massive for the championship.
Yeah, definitely he needs a big result, and Quickler really needs to not have a big result for the little one to have any chance of this championship. Leon following the lap after Makoni into the pit lane, the little one as well. Yeah, I think every soft runner now deciding it is time to go into the pit lane, except Gautier Levelon.
And Tom Tip-Top is taking the lead to the Grand Prix. He's gained 13 positions at the moment, and Warrior Huntsman in P2 13 positions gained, having a massive race at the moment.
Yeah, of course, still needed to pit, starting on those mediums. And Makoni and Leon, are they any close? Not really. Step gaps stayed around the same, so the undercut didn't really work for Makoni, unfortunately for him. I think that also had to do with that low ERS level of the Haas, of course, not being able to push that hard.
Indeed.
Quick killer with the fastest lap of the race on the back of Makoni, as Fandango and Arjako are really close on the second DRS side. Let's see if the Williams can make a move on the AlphaTauri, using all of his battery, going to the outside, and I think he is gonna get past. They're just ahead, but it's still side to side, and Jacko is not giving this up just yet, but now into this corner, just staying behind, although he has gotten a very good exit on the softs compared to Fandango on the mediums, and he's chased behind for the moment, and Fandango's teammate Mazzles closing up in the background as well, as is Quickiller. So not even in too bad of a position is our championship leader here on the back of this train, but overtaking is going to be very tough for him, as just ahead of his Victor Mean, I think, has parked it in the castle, and DDS, that is all of his front wing gone, and I don't think any of the drivers got a puncture from riding over the debris there, luckily. But Victor Mean, his race will definitely be over, because everyone is already pitted.
Indeed, and as well, getting sideways there, it's not too good, because you can easily damage your rear wing trying to get yourself back straight.
Maybe indeed he has done that, and that is unfixable in this game.
They are flying past Makoni
for the net race lead, and in the meanwhile the actual race lead on track, where Huntsman has overtaken Tom Tip-Top. So last to first at the moment for the Alfa Romeo. He isn't there to stay, unfortunately. Leon only 5 seconds behind. Let's just quickly have a look at the gap to leader. I think Warrior Huntsman, if he pits, he will come out just in front of that train of Jacko in P9.
Indeed, and as well top 5 will get points at the moment. Little Juan will get the last point and will gain a point on Quick Killer.
That won't be too big in a championship, but every point counts. Especially if Quick Killer is struggling, but he is making a move on Mezzles, so that is already one of the train that he doesn't have to worry about anymore. Now it's only Fandango and our Jacko in front of him, and then he can just chase after the guys in front.
So because in as well every point can count. That 1 point that Little Juan now gains on Quick can decide the whole championship in Bahrain.
Definitely can. We saw it last season in real life. Just level up points. It's funny how Chimp has missed his braking zone and has, I think, slightly tapped the ball. I think he already had some damage because Draper overtook him in a very unusual spot. I think indeed there is damage on that Haas car, just not visible for us. Struggling to get his way to the finish at the moment.
Little Juan doesn't seem to be catching Leon.
Doesn't, but I think maybe the little one is happy with where he is at the moment. P3 for the actual race, as Quick Killer has made a very audacious move on Fandango into turn 16. Don't really see a move there unless he of course lined it up a bit earlier. Indeed, Van Jim is very slow there, just ahead of us, so he definitely has some damage and he goes into the pit right now, I assume. Not the sprint race he was hoping for, to say the least. But Jacko getting the arrest because of him as well. So no move for Quick Killer on this straight just yet. Although Jacko has gone very deep and let Quick Killer pass. Maybe that was strategical from the other Tauri, and now he has the DRS. So maybe have a look back.
Or maybe didn't want to intervene with the championship battle and decided to back out of it. Because Quick Killer had more pace, or maybe it was a strategic move, but it didn't. If it was strategic, it failed miserably.
It definitely did. Maybe he was just indeed hoping he could just ride along with Quick Killer, staying in his DRS.
Leon called Tom with tip-top already.
McLaren still yet to pit. Leon having to downshift there on the double left-hander to not hit the wall or the McLaren.
This is well massive for Little Juan, because he can make up lots of time now to try and catch Leon and Marconi, as he already gained 1.2 seconds on Marconi.
But once the straight is there, I think Marconi with a very good run on Leon as well. So maybe we will see a double pass from the Haas. And indeed he is very close to the gearbox of Leon, and it is going to be 3 wide, the still tip the box. No, luckily not, otherwise he would have hit Marconi into the wall. It was 3 wide on the straight, but Leon is in the race lead as Marconi goes a little bit deep there as well, so he can't fight back.
I think maybe Tomo Tip-Top wanted to box, but then Marconi put his guard there, and because Tomo looked like he wanted to go into the pit lane.
Definitely could have been the case. Then there, out of turn 2, the McLaren lost the car as well. Warrior Huntsman rejoining ahead of his teammate Gauthier Levelon in P6. So a very good race from Warrior Huntsman this far. And the Quick Killer has pulled away from Jacko. And Fandango making his way past the AlphaTauri as well. Let's see if he can maybe have something to say about that back, but I don't think he can. Christopher looking in the background as well to maybe make benefit out of these guys battling just too far back at the moment.
Tomo Tip-Top is really struggling on his tires as he collides, but as he's losing Little Juan lots of time at the moment. Little Juan will have to, as he lost 2 seconds already. And Dragon Speed is also catching rapidly now.
Yeah, Tom Tip-Top really doing his teammates a big favor. Almost in the DRS of the little one is Dragon on Speed, and I think he is now.
Tomo Tip-Top must have been told to defend like a lion.
And he did. Great bit of team play there by the McLaren boys.
Indeed.
And probably Tom Tip-Top this lap going into the pit, and the little one, he caught the curb on the inside and hit the wall on the left. I think there's damage on that Ferrari, surely.
Yeah, I think it's crucial for the championship and for Little Juan that he stays out. Just try to get the car home. That's the message.
Yeah, and he probably should have the pace to at least stay ahead of Tom Tip-Top. But Dragon
Indeed.
Speed is the main competitor for him. I think the McLarens are gonna do a swap on this straight. Yeah, indeed they are. Tom Tipton just playing a big team play here.
Indeed.
Marconi is having to really push to get into that DRS, but Leon, with that benefit of the ERS, is pulling out. At the moment, it doesn't look like Marconi does have the pace to win this race. Maybe for the next race his fortune can turn. Victor Mean indeed crashed at the place we also saw a little one hit the wall in AFL, park his car. So that's second retirement of this race and a P16 start for the Alpine.
Will we see any more drama, or has the drama ended?
Probably
As
will.
you
Go on.
As you still have 4 laps remaining, still anything can happen.
Yeah, definitely. I think most of the drivers just settling down now. Draper with a penalty. Maybe Quickiller can catch up to his teammate to make benefit of that penalty as well. Get in the 3 seconds and then jump him to start P8 for the race. But that looks like to be the best Quickiller can manage at the moment. P8. So not the race he would have wanted. But maybe when the little one starts in P4, it isn't too bad for the Aston Martin. But let's see if Dragon Speed decides to go for a move into turn 1. I think he's just a bit too far back. Yes, indeed he is. Lifts as well, just to stay behind. Tom Tiptop finally goes into the pit lane, the last to do so. Is Dragon Speed just staying behind here to overtake him into lap 13, so that the little one can't have anything to do.
If I were Dragon, I would wait as long as possible, but also not wait too long, because if you wait too long and he increases the gap by too much, then you also screwed it for yourself, basically.
Yeah, definitely. Even though an overtake on the last lap, indeed, on the last straight is possible, because it is a long run to the finish line. Jaco into the pit. I think he picked up some damage once again. So second pit stop for him. Not really the race the AlphaTauri boys were looking for. 13th and 15th at the moment. Not really too good for them.
Like, the one made a little bit of contact to the wall in Castle, but I'm not sure.
A bit like a magnet to the wall is the little one, but not too big that he has significant damage. Still pulling away from Dragon. Similar amount of ERS as well, but Dragon is still in the DRS, and that is all he needs to do. If he just manages to get the DRS, get the slipstream on the final lap, he will cruise past.
I think you need about a 5/10 gap to get past here at main straight.
Maybe it depends on the guy in front, of course, if he what wings he's using and those sorts. But I think when you use ERS and the guy in front isn't 6-7 tenths, it's doable as well.
Indeed.
Dragon just too far back once again, and I think he will stay like this for at least another lap, and maybe into lap 13 he is gonna go for it. But then the risk is there that the little one will get him at the line and reclaim that P3. But Rory Huntsman so far is definitely the driver who has benefited the most in this sprint race. From P17, you already said it, he is fast around here, but he made up 12 places in the sprint.
And maybe if little one Dragon keep battling, then maybe he can make it 13 or 14 position, because he can already see the pair ahead. He's catching pretty fast.
Definitely is, but 3.2 seconds in 2 laps. It is a big gap.
Maybe a double overtake on the line for Rory Huntsman here.
It would be the dream for him, but dreams often don't come true.
Indeed.
2 tenths gained through the castle, definitely worth keeping an eye on. But also the little one is catching to McConey. McConey really not having the pace in the race. Strong qualifying, a strong couple of opening laps, but now he's just dropping back massively from Leon, almost 6 seconds. Maybe the Haas has some damage on the front wing, because he's just losing so much time to the little one as well, almost within that 2 second gap of the Haas. I think on the last lap, maybe they will be close enough. Lap 12 is going in now. Dragon on speed, is he deciding to make a move? Not yet. Still just staying behind the Ferrari. I think next lap he will go for it. Next lap we will see the overtake of the McLaren, I think.
Indeed. And as well, Warrior Huntsman, god, I think about a second last lap.
Yeah, at this rate he will be very close, but I don't think close enough. Dragon, and the little one, Dragon is going to go for it now on the second DRS straight, and the little one doesn't fight it.
The little one knows. He's coming back at him. Down the inside.
Slight moment of side to side, but I think the little one needs staying behind to overtake him on the main straight. Just get him back.
That was massive for Warrior Huntsman, as guess how close he got. He gained a second with that small battle.
Yeah, side to side through this narrow streets can basically be the difference between 2 seconds in front or just level with him. And if he gets a good middle sector here, he will be in a DRS and little one making a mistake. So he's only at 1.2 seconds.
It also looks like maybe look one has picked damage from that battle, because I think that a very minor collision there as well.
Definitely possible. He already got away with some contact with the wall, but maybe the fourth or third time it wasn't a jump for him. Christopher did round in the castle. He manages to get it going again. A Dragon on speed in the DRS of Marconi. Will we see a battle for the second place, and probably is a battle for fourth as well?
Indeed.
Jaco retiring in the castle. That is his race over. It looked like he was gonna start 13th, but now it is P15 for him. Quickler making the move on his teammate, but his teammate is dropping back massively behind Masters and Tomo Tiptop now as well, but he has a lot of ERS. And he is going to be 3 wide on the straight, leading on to turn 1. Is Draper ahead of both of them? Yes, he is. Mazzles as well behind, but he comes very close to contact, pushing the Esteban on a little bit of track. And Tom Tiptop, look at him. He got back on the Williams of Mazzles, and indeed he is in front. Draper going wide and into the wall, and back into Tom Tiptop. Draper without a front wing. I wonder where that has happened. Probably into turn 1, where he got hit by the Williams, and now Draper is going to lose even more positions. Did side to side with Mazzles. That doesn't end very well most of the time, but Mazzles being very secure where he places that car and doesn't make any contact. Warrior Huntsman and Dragon on speed very close to their cars in front.
And as well, we will have a battle for P2 and a battle for P4 between, because Warrior Huntsman is also very close to the one.
Look at Marconi. Look at Marconi. Marconi broke ahead of that corner.
He is gonna try something. This can either be a big flop or a very good call.
I think it was a very good call. They're just playing the chicken. And the little one, look at the little one. He's back in the DRS.
This is massive.
A slight hit of the wall, but I think the little one with the DRS, he will stay in P4. Leon coming across the line to win the race. But the main battle here, the main focus is on Marconi. Does he make the move past Dragon on speed? It is going to be very close. And he tips it. He tips him on the line.
What was the gap?
It doesn't even show. I think they were just crossed the time at the line at basically the exact same time. But the game, Marconi and Dragon on speed were playing to both be behind. Coming onto the straight massively helped the little one, because he got the DRS from Marconi at the time, and that helped him defend from Warrior Huntsman. So the Ferrari in P4, the Alfa Romeo in P5, with his teammate just behind him. Quickler manages to finish 7th after that first lap, the second lap contact with himself and the little one Tom Tiptop in 8th after staying out for an age, just helping his teammate. Mazzles in P9 followed by his teammate. Draper without a front wing on the last lap in P11. Vanios Chimp, we saw him crashing as well in P12. Christopher still without a front wing. Oh no, he has fitted one onto his car back. He will be the last of the finishes.
And as well, Warrior Huntsman gaining 12th position in the sprint race. It will be interesting to see what he can do.
Did a massive sprint race for him. If he manages to get that race pace sorted as well in the actual race, it will be will be looking like he's there for the podium thereabouts in at least. Yeah, yeah, McConey and Leon 1 and 2. They indeed were very close after the first couple of laps. Then McConey just dropped back.
The gap, the gap
Manages.
seemed to be a tenth.
It is indeed 10th. It's basically nothing.
Yeah, it looked so small though.
A 10th is very small though. It's you can't even like, wink your eyes in the space of a tenth of a second. It is mad how close those guys were. But Leon in P1 dominating the sprint race, almost finishing 10 seconds ahead of McConey in P2, dragging on speed, completing the podium for this race. Then the little one dropping back a bit after a good opening lap. Will start the main race in P4, where Huntsman is scoring another point from the sprint race in P5 after starting last. Amazing drive from him. Then it's Gauthier Leffelon, Quick Killer, Tom Tiptop, Massels and Fandango in the top 10. Draper, Chimp, Christopher Murphy, Jaco finished as well, or at least classified. And then Victor Mean.
And as well, maybe some nice little detail. McConey has confirmed that he got damage. That's why he was dropping back so much from Leon.
Yeah, it definitely looked like he had some damage in there. Just indeed the confirmation there.
And this
So
10-minute break.
10-minute break to just relax a little bit after that finished. It was very close on the line. A little bit Bottas and Stroll vibes from 2018. Just catching on the line. And that is
Shame it was not the same cars, but it's still the point.
yeah, exactly. A little bit less meaning. Of course, it had this time, but yeah, that is what Baku can provide. I mean, the long straights to the start finish. It just the DRS is pretty soon as well. So if you're just staying behind another car, get the slipstream, have a lot more ERS as well. That is the way that you can overtake there on the line, just shown by McConey. A lot of DRS chicken as well, as Jay Wills called it in Austria. Just not wanting to be the first car to cross that DRS detection point to get the DRS and fly past the car ahead.
Indeed, and as well, maybe if you can get a double slipstream, that will be even better.
Definitely, I wouldn't. Yeah, definitely there will be some double overtakes in the actual race. I gotta assume. And the little one closing up 2 points on Quickler in the championship. I'm quickly going for a water break. So, unless you wanna talk about something, we'll have a little bit of a pause here, and then we'll be back. So see y'all in a few moments.
See you soon. Right, so the sprint race was a very interesting race. I will give you a short opinion on what I thought was good about it. Some of the racing we've seen was absolutely class. The ending was absolutely class. DRS chicken with McConey and Dragon was absolutely class. I think we want to see more of these battles in the real race. These drivers are skilled enough, have enough patience to do it. So I think we will see it. I think if I have to be legit, I'll do a little podium prediction. I think P1 will either be, I'd say, Leon, the Juan Wire Huntsman. I think that will be the podium. Or maybe Marconi as well, because Marconi seems strong as well. We can't really predict it, because a lot of these guys are very, very strong new. So yeah. So we hope obviously to see the nice racing that we saw. See if anybody in the stream has some questions maybe. If you have any questions that you want to ask, go ahead, you can do it. Lil Juan, can you hear me good now?
Alright, it shouldn't be too long until we get the main race.
In the meantime, while we're gone, I gave my opinion about sprint race, what I liked, and a little point prediction. I said for the podium, Lil Juan, Warrior Huntsman, and Leon, or maybe even Marconi, who can squeeze himself up there.
The opinion on the championship battle, well, it depends whether you question the opinion on how good it is, or if you want our opinion on who we think is gonna win. But I think on how good it is, of course, with you, Little One, joining a little bit later, if you just discount those couple of races, you basically scored the same amount of points. So considering that it is a very close championship fight, of course. Indeed. Now in the leaderboard it is 71 points difference, but in our hearts you are a lot closer.
Because I think Lil Juan came in after 4 races, I think, if I'm correct. 3 races, so he
quickly have a look.
Because he missed out on some points there. I definitely think if Lil Juan was here from the start of the season, he definitely might have been leading championship or would have been lots closer. So I think the championship battle has been exciting and good, because at one moment there was this battle between Leon, then Greg then Lil Juan.
Indeed, the little one only the round 4, so he missed 3 rounds. 71 points with the form he's having right now. 71 points seems doable in those first 3 rounds. But yeah, indeed, Leon in the opening rounds dominating really in Australia and France. He seemed like the man to beat, and then the Monza came around. Riordan won.
In Australia, I had a little bit of a stinker with my game glitching, with setting me on no fuel on the line.
That definitely was suboptimal. Murphy as well, with a little bit of a bowling accident in turn 1 there. The first turn of the season, and he just decides to go bowling instead of everyone racing.
Did a Valtteri Bottas in Hungary.
It definitely did. Interesting tactic. Didn't really pay off for him, and unfortunately as well.
I think as well France was a very good race, well, with the mixed conditions, obviously, because you had people who started on hards, on softs and on mediums. Like for example, I started on the race on the hards, ended up in the race in 2nd place in the end.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember one lap where it was indeed changeable conditions, and then I think Jacko was either one of the only ones still on dries or one of the only ones still on inters, and he just shot past the whole grid in one lap. That definitely is up there for.
Indeed. I don't know as well if you saw when me and Leon were closely battling, and then we made that little contact, spinning me around the world.
I can't precisely remember that.
Also a little incident that yet, but incidents happen in racing. If you race and
Definitely
have
do.
no incidents, did you really go racing?
That is a great question. You either went racing very cautiously, or everyone just drove a very perfect race.
I'll be quickly going to the toilet before the race starts.
Go on.
Be right back.
Yeah, so the championship battle would have been a lot closer, but I mean the championship battle isn't the only battle really going on in the field. The battle for P3, for example, I think that's the most exciting battle we have right now. Leon, after those first rounds, he really was the one to beat in P1, but he just dropped off after that. He can't even mathematically win the championship anymore in P3, but then it's Makoni, KXI, Mazzles, Nacho, Dragon, Riordan even, all relatively close to Leon. Riordan, I think, misses this round and the last round as well, so he definitely would have gotten some points there, but they are all in contention to get that P3 away from Leon, so that is the main battle, probably to keep an eye out on Murphy and Fandango, Tommy Tiptop, Draper, Sadistic, and then J-Wills. They are all pretty close as well. Just a bit further down, AFL, Warrior Huntsman, and Wild Dog pretty in no man's land. Christopher and Jaco following them. Yeah, at the moment, one of the races of the season, France, the second race. In both the first and the second, we had changeable conditions towards the end. In Australia, it wasn't well enough to go on the Inters, and then in France, it was the other way around, and it was wet enough, which led to some very, very great laps right at the dead end of the race. Then at the Monza, the first sprint race of the season, Dragon on Speed winning that sprint race, but Riordan being victorious in the Alfa Romeo on home soil. As drivers are running up, so we will continue racing in Azerbaijan in just a couple of moments. The odds of staying dry, of course, higher than it being wet, but the race is the game is the game. You never know. Yeah, after Monza, the little one came in with a big streak of podiums as well. I think he manages to get 4 or 5 in a row up until Spain, where he DNF'd from the race, the full wet Spain race, probably one of the worst races of the season, talking about those performance-wise. Just wet all the way, not really any moves being made, although quickly he started P11, knocked out in Q2 once again, just by taking a bit too much of a gamble and going onto mediums and staying on mediums very prematurely. And it is indeed dry.
Nice. I have returned.
Very lovely. The drivers will have a free tire choice as well.
That's very interesting.
So it is going to be very mixed to throughout the field. I think maybe some drivers will even take the gamble to start on the hards, just extended gap, hope for a late safety car, and then go onto the softs.
Yep.
What would you do in this scenario? Would you start on the medium, start on the softs? What would you do?
I will start on the medium tire, as I prefer around Azerbaijan the medium tire as a race tire. So I'd say either start on softs, hope for a safety car, go mediums, try to go the whole race. I think mediums can last easily 18 laps. You can maybe make them last 20 laps if you have really good tire management. It's possible, but it's really hard. Tires will drop massive amounts of pace as well. But I will start on the medium tires personally.
Yeah, I think I'll do the same, especially if you are around the midfield, around the top. If you are at the back, starting the softs, try to make up as many positions as you can early in the race, but in front of the field, just go in the mediums, the safest choice, of course, without any weather having a part. Let's see if there are any mixed tire change strategies at the front, and definitely they are.
Wow, that's interesting. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 soft runners.
Indeed, and they aren't really close to each other either. Leon and Marconi, the top two on softs. Then it's Gautier Leflon in P6 on softs. Vaneos, Jimp, Christophe together on softs in P12 and P13 respectively. And AFL in last, he starts on softs as well. But the rest all on mediums indeed. No one taking the gamble for the hards.
Indeed, I wouldn't really recommend the hards here in 50% race because the hards are not really the best race tire around Azerbaijan, I think personally.
No, indeed, they're really
Slow
and it just easy to spin the car around, especially in the cars you need just the bite from the tires to not do a Charles Leclerc and go into the wall.
If I have to say the best track for the hards, I definitely have to say France. The hards feel really good around France, I must say.
Yeah, it's one of the better ones to do a soft hard on. I think most tracks though, a soft medium is just the best strategy.
Or soft medium, or soft medium soft. Also pretty good strategies for tracks like Hungary.
And the projected pit lane strategy here was a two-stop as well, but I think our guys will manage to do a one-stop, and it's probably best to do that as well.
Indeed. Juan starts at the same position as he started in the sprint race as well before.
I think he started in P3 in the sprint race.
Did he start in P3? I thought he started before. Oh,
well, he at least starts somewhere near where he started in the sprint. Yeah, Marconi though he starts in the same position in P2. He's one of the guys that didn't lose or gain any positions.
You're right, he started P3.
Alright, that's good to know. My brain hasn't deteriorated just yet.
My brain has, by the sounds of it.
The formation lap is just staying too long. It's too long of a circuit. Let's blame it on that.
Then you should see a formation lap around Singapore with F2 cars. That takes ages.
It definitely does. Just go straight on at turn 1. It just isn't worth it.
And as well a safety car in F2 cars around Singapore. Nearly 2 minutes 40 laps.
That's mental. Definitely takes some time.
Lining up. Who will get the better start will be Leon, Marconi, or maybe even Dragon or Little Juan, who takes lead into turn 1.
Yeah, checking on speed on those mediums, and Little One will probably just be happy to stay where they start. And Leon on pole, he will be wanting to start and win this race, but the lights are once again on 5 red lights. Does Marconi get a better start this time? It doesn't look like it. I think still he definitely does. Yes, he has. It didn't look like it, but they are side to side. And Leon into the wall.
Leon hits the wall.
Leon
past Dragon.
Indeed, Little One and Leon side to side as well. The Little One making a little bit of contact with the Red Bull on the curbs as well. And in the background, I think there was an Alfa Romeo who dropped it out of turn 2 as well. But Marconi with a very good lap 1. He is clear in the lead, and Warrior Huntsman almost on in the inside of Dragon on speed. The Little One making his way past Leon. Leon with another bit of contact with the Ferrari there, and now Dragon is making a move past Leon as well, but still side to side into the twisty section of sector 2, and Dragon loses it, and he is into the wall.
Oh, that's so unfortunate for Dragon, man.
Just went onto the power too early, and Quickler with that is making his way past Leon as well. Warrior Huntsman into P4, so Leon definitely some damage on that car, and he is just slowly falling away from this lead. But Marconi, he had the start he was hoping for almost 2 seconds clear of everyone else. The Dragon on Speed has retired in the castle as well, and that is a virtual safety car.
Surprised of
Makoni! Makoni!
What happened to
Makoni has
Makoni?
spun!
No! Makoni is facing backwards with no front wing. Little Juan now leads as the full course caution safety car has been called after I think Makoni has collision with the wall.
That's a second week in a row. A heartbreak for Makoni. He was in the lead on Imola and then just the safety car fully knocked him. And now he spun on himself. Funny his teammate letting him by. That's so unfortunate. Leon into the pit as well. I think he already spun once the virtual safety car was out. He just accelerated too heavily out of turn 15, went into the wall on the left, lost his front wing and just into last place. Everyone onto fresh mediums who was going into the pit.
So what's interesting is the championship contenders are now right behind each other for the safety car.
Once again in P1 and 2 as well.
Yep. Will they touch again? Will the tensions rise? And will they collide or will they keep it without any collisions?
That's indeed the big question. I mean, the little one has to play it a little bit with the elbows out, because he just has that big gap to bridge. But Quickler as well, he probably will stay smart and just stay behind in P2. If he just stays calm.
Because in all fairness, Quickler just does not win the races anymore. He just has finished P2.
Yeah, P2 even lower maybe. I mean, he has a 71 point gap. You only gain 40 points if you finish in P1. 3 races left. That's only 120 points up for grabs. So he needs 50 points, and in 3 races that is around 15 points per race. So around P5, Quickler just needs to finish consistently, and then the championship is his. But 1 P2, and of course he can just relax the other races a little bit more.
I think as well, if he wins this one and he finishes P2 in the next race, he has his championship closed.
It probably does. The gap is so big already.
Yeah, because I think Spa is the second to last round as well.
Indeed it is. Only Spa and Bahrain left after this one, but with Dragon on Speed and Makoni losing out so massively, Leon as well. Almost everyone inside the top 10 except for Leon has managed to climb up positions. Little one gaining 3. It's from 4th to 1st.
Indeed, I hope I can return for Belgium and Bahrain, as that are 2 of my strongest ranks that I can participate in the battle for the constructors and maybe try and help out Little Juan with getting the 2nd place maybe.
Yeah, will definitely help him if he has a teammate that's up there. Saw it with Perez, he helped Verstappen. It's just very helpful. Of course, you're not in a championship battle, but you are in a battle for around P9, P10. I dare to say.
I'm at the moment P13.
Yeah, but you're not too far back of the guys in front. So 1 good result, and you're there. Just back Mazzles as well in P4. I don't think he started the sprint race in too great of a position. But with all that has happened, he is in P4. Tom Tip Top in P5. Great start from him as well. Struggling a bit in the sprint, staying out too long to help his teammate, who is now DNF. So all those that help didn't really pay off, unfortunately. Victor Mean with a very good start. After his crash in the sprint, he is in P8. After just keeping it clean. Jumping Draper on probably the opening lap, and then just everyone that has got some damage dropped behind him. He is in P8. Pretty good debut from him so far. Phineas Chimp in last place, so the only way is up for him. From tier 4 now in tier 3, it's always going to be hard. Just that one level faster than they go in tier 4, of course.
Indeed.
The safety car is coming in this lap. But it's going to be very interesting to see where the little one goes, because if he goes off in that final corner, Quickler would just stay off, catch him on the straight, and a bit further back there's something weird happening, because Fandango is 6 seconds back from his teammate Mansell, and Tomo Tiptop has lost 2 positions. I'm not sure what happened there. And Fandango has now gotten a 5-second penalty for probably overtaking Tomo Tiptop, but he didn't have a choice.
Tomo probably spun or something, and he got his car straight probably instantly, and then yeah, Fandango probably overtook him, gave a penalty for it.
That indeed is the most likely thing, and I think the little one has already gotten. No, he just hasn't. Very close to the safety car though, and then staying out one more lap.
Yeah, safety car stayed out because of Tomo spin. And they got
I think that should be clear. Hopefully it isn't a glitch. There was a glitch in this game where the safety car would just stay out and never go in. Let's hope that isn't the case, but yeah, one more lap behind the safety car that gives Tom Tip the chance to go into the pit lane, change his front wing, and go again.
Indeed. We have 2 unfortunate spinners under VSC and safety car condition now, Tomo and Marconi.
Yeah, indeed, quite unusual to see even one spin under the safety car. Of course, it can happen. I remember in Abu Dhabi, Marconi spun as well under the safety car, even though there was a safety car restart. So it wasn't really a safety car to keep his pace. He wasn't really limited to anything other than quicker space. Yeah, second spin from Marconi in 3 weeks under yellow flag conditions at least. Yep. Fandango, that 5 seconds can be removed if he doesn't serve it in the pit, that is.
Indeed, and if he shows race director footage.
Indeed, that as well.
I think this will be one of the most interesting safety car restarts, as we'll have Quick Killer versus Little One.
Not the first time they are together. Little One already chopping, and then this safety car in this lap. So it is gonna be an enthralling fight, I think, in lap 5. If Quick Killer can get the safety car right.
I think he is holding back so much so he can go straight after the S section.
Definitely does look like it, but he needs to get Quick Killer off guard so that he can put a gap even before turn 1, maybe even over a second, if he gets this perfectly right.
This is very, very interesting to see.
Quick Killer though, all over the back of the row, and there he goes. The Little One goes with Quick Killer, very awake on that restart, as was Rory Huntsman, as was Messels. So they are all very close, and I think indeed with that slipstream, Quick Killer is closing up on the Ferrari, but they just too far back, I think. But they are side to side into turn 1. I think the Little One just went too early on that safety car reset, and Quick Killer has made the move for the lead. Rory Huntsman as well in the background, going for a move. Indeed, he just has a look on the inside, but didn't get past the Little One. But now it is. The tables have turned. The Little One with the slipstream on Quick Killer, but this straight is just too short to make a move. Christopher on Fandango, and Fandango making contact with Christopher, just the front tire of the Mercedes hitting the rear of the Williams, and Christopher is round there in turn 3 after crashing in the sprint race as well. Spun a spin here. Not the races for going quite that well for the Mercedes. The Little One almost dropping out of the 1 second already from Quick Killer, and if the Indian in the Aston Martin can keep this up, he will just cruise toward the ends. But there he makes a mistake coming out of the caster, and now the Little One maybe can even have a go at him into turn 15. All over the back of him, but doesn't use his ERS. But now with the slipstream, he is side to side with him. Very tricky here to do it. It is a very high curb, but they are side to side and very close to the wall. And Rory Huntsman
pass as well.
indeed, very good positioning from the Alfa Romeo. Now he is into P2. Very...
As well, very nice attack from Le Juan to just try and steer in as late as possible, so Quick Killer had to back out and get a not so good exit of that corner. Very nice positioning from Le Juan as well.
Definitely, and now Messels with a run on Quick Killer. Maybe Quick Killer with a little bit of damage as he it looks like he's going into the pit lane. Yes, he is. Mario Huntsman now attacking the little one for this race lead. Little one again forcing his opponent a little bit out wide, but it is all entirely inside the regulations. Now Mario Huntsman breaking very early, and he is... Yeah, Quick Killer indeed with damage. Going onto the soft tires, interestingly, so he can't see the race out to the end, so he needs to hope for safety car, otherwise this weekend will be fully ruined for him. And behind Little One, everyone is really patching up between each other now, and Victor Mean hitting the back of Draper, getting a little bit off guard by everyone being so close. And I think indeed he has some wing damage. The right end plate of the Alpine is missing there. Leon is gonna want to make their move rather sooner than later.
And as well, this can be huge from championship now. The Quick Killer is in P16 because he is on soft, so he has to make another pit stop because those tires won't last 20 laps. Whilst the front still, they still have to pit. They can probably pit around lap 18, I would say, and then bring those tires 8 laps. But Quick Killer by the time then has probably already pitted again and will be hugely behind. He can be lucky if he ends up in the top 5 this race.
Top 5 is indeed very high for him, I think. Without a safety car, he definitely looks to be outside of the top, outside of this train. Top 5 indeed. Yeah, he has definitely good pace. Got the from making his way past Victor Mean as well with the wing damage that the Alpine has. We know Quick Killer has very good pace, and top 5 I think is just a bit too far. Even for him, having to make one pit stop as well. Even more, 21 seconds behind the race leader, and top 5 is 18 seconds ahead of him. I don't think he's gonna make the top 5. So the championship fight is open if it stays like this. But Warrior Huntsman is gonna make the move on the little one, and he is going into the race lead.
Warrior Huntsman started last in the sprint race, now leading the main race. He is doing a Lewis Hamilton drive.
Mega drive indeed.
In my opinion, if he can finish the race, even on the podium, that is drive of the week material.
Oh, definitely, and there's been a big crash between Draper and Leon in turns 5 and 6, I think it was. Not really a place where you want to go side to side over that high curve, and Draper hit the side of Leon. And Draper without a front wing in the castle section, narrowly avoiding the barriers. Indeed, Messels is really now almost dropping outside of the 1 second from the little one and Robbie Huntsman. And if that happens, those two can just drive away with it. But Messels with a good section there is back in the DRS, and I think the top 4 will just keep as it is for a couple of laps.
If I were Little Juan, I would maybe try and chase after our Huntsman, because with Quick Killer now being in P14, it would be crucial for him to win the race. Because that means right now, as it stands, if he wins, he will get a 38-point advantage on Quick Killer, which is massive for the championship battle.
It indeed will.
For Huntsman, I think if he didn't get so unlucky in the earlier start of the season, he could have definitely be up there for a championship battle.
There are a lot of drivers indeed that have the pace to be at least there or thereabouts, like Fandango as well. Messels has shown that he has pace sometimes to just be in the top 3. He qualified there quite often, but just in the races it really hasn't gone his way, as is for Leon as well. He really could have gone a lot further after that pace in the opening laps. If he manages to get that back, then it would have been plain sailing for him. Marconi and Murphy having a little bit of battle on those hard tires. Murphy behind.
KSI also asked if the tire can be put on the screen.
Indeed,
Like,
I saw it, and I have just put the tires
yeah,
on the screen, and it just helps with engineering, probably for Christopher. No, those guys are helping each other out, which is of course great to see. But Mazzles has dropped out of the DRS, so now he and his teammate Fandango are DRSing each other, and Little One and Rari Huntsman, both Ferrari engines, are DRSing each other as well. But he saw there already Rari Huntsman's light was flashing, indicating that he is running very low on the ERS. His battery is almost fully empty, while the Little One has some left. So he has currently the high ground. Definitely isn't much, but it is something. Mazzles making the move on Fandango.
and if you're a fan of movies, then you know the high ground is always a better option.
Definitely it is. A swap between AlphaTauris on the main straight, but Murphy totally misjudged that braking point, hit the back of Jaco and into a spin. Murphy went just unsettled the car after hitting his teammate, so contact between two AlphaTauris and Baku, while just in front of those Makoni and AFL going side to side for a brief moment. Makoni on those hards, looking to make amends after that sprint race disaster for him.
Indeed.
Not really a sprint race disaster, it was the opening lap where he fell a bit back.
And as well, now he will be looking to maybe try to get back to that top position to try and win the race after the spin under the VSC.
Yeah, I already forgot about that. It's just, it already has been quite a time since that happened. But indeed, he is in a net P4, I think, because the top 4 guys haven't pitted yet on those mediums. Started on mediums, still on mediums, so they need to pit. And the likes of Leon, I think they are just preserving their tires to go to the end on the mediums. And if they can manage to do that, Leon is currently in the net race lead and looking very good to score good amount of points to secure his P3 in the championship here.
And as well, Warrior Huntsman starting to really push. Look, one trying everything he can to keep pace with Warrior Huntsman.
Yeah, but on the straight, the DRS and the slipstream, he's more ERS as well, so he isn't derating, he isn't losing the straight line speed. Jaco making a double move on the straight, I said it just before. And he makes the move past Makoni and past AFL, and AFL has been dumbfounded and he has passed by 2 cars, but Makoni goes really deep in turn 1. Does AFL have a look? Yeah, definitely more than a look into turn 2, but he backs out of it and just stays behind the Haas for the moment, probably just staying behind, knowing that he has a lot more ERS than Makoni, and he knows he can just overtake him whenever he wants if he pushes that overtake button. Fandango making his way past his teammate Mazzles. Maybe a swap, because Fandango thinks or knows that he is faster than his Danish teammate Leon. He was 2 seconds back last lap, and now he is in that 1 second, but he hit the wall there. I don't think that is damage, but it isn't a good sign from him. Back in the dirt, yeah, and already hits into the wall.
Warriors is also a bit slidey all over the track. So I've been following this battle pretty closely. Warriors has been sliding, lots of maybes, struggling with his tires. Look one seeming more in control of his tires at the moment than the Warrior Huntsman. This can be huge for the raceman.
Yeah, if Warrior Huntsman is indeed sliding, his tires will drop off even more. Mazzles, I think he has some damage, because he is already 2.3 seconds back from his teammate, who only let him by this lap. And you'll see there just in the S's, there's a little bit of understeer. So Leon will fly past, no problems there for him. Quickler making the move on Christopher as well. I think that is in turn 16. One of Quickler's overtaking spots. He overtook Fandango there in the sprint race as well. And Little One is now all over the back of Rory Huntsman, but the Alfa Romeo with a very good exit out of turn 2. So I think they will stay in position just for the time being. Christopher overtaking the Quickler back on the main straight. They are tussling now in the first sector. Christopher running out of ERS, and if Quickler can get a good move here, he will do what the Little One just couldn't do, and indeed does. He will fly past Christopher on this straight, and he overtakes him into turn 4. Thomas Tiftop and AFL also very close.
Indeed. As they're coming about to lap funny off jump as well. Warrior Huntsman and Lug 1.
Yeah.
Warrior Huntsman makes a huge mistake in Castle. Nearly lose the car.
Ooh, and then he did.
Lose the car.
Into
He
the
was
wall.
sliding too much, and that is a huge shame for Warrior Huntsman. He had such good pace, but one little mistake costed him dearly.
Did that?
He was having
you already said it. He was just sliding and sliding, and there, the slide was too much. He just couldn't get it. Just couldn't catch it. Last to first, almost completed. Well, he completed it for a couple of laps, but now he's just falling back to the back of the field, and this has really opened up the opportunity for the little one to just stay where he is, not have any pressure, and not have anyone really to worry about, because the nearest car back is battling Fandango and Leon into turn 1, side to side, with Leon choosing to back out of it and getting a little bit better exit, and maybe going for a move here so that Fandango couldn't do anything back, and indeed he is going for it. Fandango left to the right, but it isn't enough to break the toe. Leon in front of the Williams. Fandango having a little bit of a look back, but just couldn't do it. But Leon with a very big slide on the exit of turn 4. Not major enough for Fandango really to go back past.
Yeah, I think with everybody starting to slide, this might be a sign of maybe we should go for a couple of pit stops. As well, Quick Killer is within 17 seconds of the race leader.
He is coming closer and closer. That is
but he still
what
has
you
to
would have
pit,
expected.
Because of the
Definitely.
soft tires.
Indeed,
So
that's the big problem.
expect them around 40 seconds back at the moment.
But then again, the little one has to pit as well.
Indeed, so I would say about 20 seconds behind Lug 1 he is net.
Yeah, I gotta agree, and definitely with the little one, he probably is going to the softs later on, and quicker has to go on to the mediums, so then the little one will have the pace advantage back, and then that will be that settled. At the front, everyone is just being a little bit separated, so let's have a look at the battle for P8. Currently, Thomas Titop in front of them, but he does have a penalty. AFL in P9, and Quick Killer is looking there at the back. AFL a little bit wide through the first corners of the S, and now Quick Killer is gonna have a look, although AFL with a lot of ERS will stay in front, probably using all of his ERS indeed on the straight, and no chance for Quick Killer there to get past.
Indeed. As you also see AFL gaining on Thomas Tip-Top as well, who obviously has a penalty, so at the moment AFL is net P8 with the penalty of Tomo. See, AFL is going defensive on the Aston Martin. Will quickly go for the dive here. If he goes to dive, that will be ambitious. There's a yellow flag sector 1, so he can't overtake at the moment, but now he can. This yellow flags here in sector 2. As Quick Killer nearly puts himself in the wall with a collision with AFL.
Did a little bit of wheel banging going on there, I think, between the Red Bull and the Aston Martin, but no real harm done. Need a yellow flag. Not really sure who that was for.
I think it was for the off-simp who's getting left and probably slowed down.
That is needed the most likely out of anything. Tom Tip-Top with a good pace, getting back in the DRS of Jacko. The ladder of whom has gone wide on the exit of the castle section, which is only costing you more and more time. So now the McLaren is gonna have a look on the straight, and Quick Killer is really falling back. I think he has damage.
Yeah,
once again.
Another person who's having a Quick Killer has no front wing.
He doesn't. So maybe their contact was more significant than we thought it was, or he made a mistake somewhere else.
Yeah, or he crashed somewhere else. I think most likely crashed somewhere else, because when I saw was on his point of view, he still had a front wing.
That must have indeed been the case, and Van der Schimp getting even more yellow flags for him, as Tom Tip-Top making his way past Jacko before those yellow flags came. So Quick Killer had only gone from bad to worse for him, and this is really not what he would have wanted with the little one in P1.
Indeed, and as well, Gauthier Le Fallon having a really good race, really strong race.
Definitely, as you say that, almost the commentator's curse striking there, just
Yeah.
getting too much of the curb and almost losing the car.
I was getting scared that I cursed or Gautier there. That was some slide towards the wall.
A good save though from him, but he is really under pressure from Marconi.
Yeah.
Both
I
really
rate
low on ERS.
I rate the save a 10 out of 10.
Let's
Some
do it
style
again.
points.
10 out of 10, let's do it again. And in front of us, it's Mazzles. And he didn't manage to catch his spin. He is into the wall on the exit of Castle. Indeed, another one bites the dust there, and Mazzles is falling back from P4 all the way down now to P8. He would have had to pit anyway somewhere in this race, but he wouldn't have wanted it to come this way. That is his race over as well, and Baku proving to be even more of a graveyard than the likes of Abu Dhabi Turn 3 were, which really is hard to top. Marconi, he's out of ERS.
And as well, I will say,
the
favorite to maybe win the race might actually be Marconi on the hard tires.
Definitely could have, if he is the only one who can see the tires to the end. It definitely is one to keep an eye out on, as Gautier, Fallon, Jacko and AFL, they are all going into the pit lane. 12 lap old medium tires. The little one definitely has to pit still. Then it's Leon, who theoretically he can see this race out on these tires because he already has completed the pit stop regulations. He has gone for soft mediums, but it is going to be a big ask. Indeed.
He will be in big puncture territory there if he decides to go the distance. And if you get a puncture at Baku, you will end up like Max on the main straight, I'm afraid. I see Jacko making a mistake. Jacko made a mistake, he lost his front wing. No, he didn't lose his front wing, he still has front wing. He made a mistake and quickly got past because of that.
Quicker indeed, up into P14, still scoring some points, but with the little one 6 seconds clear of Leon, it really doesn't care. I don't think Vanios Chimp, he's just there to be there at this point, unfortunately, 2 minutes back from our Jacko. Murphy making his mistake out of Castle again as well as Victor Mean back up into P7. He made a mistake, he lost his front wing, he went into the pit to change his wing, but still not out of this race at all. Back up to P7.
I would say at the moment Little Kwan will drop back to P6 range.
Yeah, indeed he does. 22 seconds between himself and Mazzles. Maybe that is a tactic that the little one is just doing right now, just extend that gap to the likes of Mazzles and Tomo Tip Top to maybe just pit and come out ahead of him, so he doesn't have to navigate through them on the traffic.
Indeed, I'm gonna keep an eye out on the gaps of like the leaders at the moment to see what happened, as you see Warrior Huntsman also trying to still charge back to maybe still get on that podium.
They'd at least salvage some good points as he and his teammates swap positions. Quickler on a charge as well, getting past AFL. Further back, Draper on relatively fresh softs, getting past Murphy on old hards. But Draper definitely can't see this race out on those soft tires, so Murphy at the moment still net ahead of him.
Little Juan as well just saved a big moment there. As I went on board him to see how he was doing on, and then he nearly crashed the same way as Warren's man, Mazzles. But he's still going, that's really good.
Yeah, definitely not plain sailing for him there. And get between himself and Leon.
Well.
And Murphy has, he has lost his front ring in the castle section as well. So this race is very costly for every team. I hope they brought at least 5 or 6 front wings, because it's just a graveyard in Castle and after Castle as well.
And so interesting thing as well, I think Little Juan will single-handedly gain points on Aston Martin with only one Ferrari on the track.
it definitely does 40 points for him at the moment. As Fandango, he hasn't pitted yet. He goes from medium, serving that 5-second penalty that got on the safety car, and it looks like he had front wing damage as well. So maybe that is why he has gone for the pit stop onto the hards.
Indeed.
Very long pit stop from the Williams with that 5-second penalty and with the front wing change as well. But he still manages to rejoin ahead of Quickiller, but it is behind the likes of Christophe, Gauthier Levelon and Rory Huntsman, who probably don't have to pit again. Victor Mean as well in a very good position if you can see this race out.
Indeed. As well, at the moment, I think Little Juan will come out P5. If he decides to pit now. I think around this area is where he would want to pit.
Yeah, maybe he's just trying to extend, and that's Murphy just not having the race of his life. It's just to put it very lightly, the little one having to lift pretty massively through the last corner of those S's to actually make the corner. And Leon catching up massively, still staying out is the Ferrari. And Leon as well,
Leon.
just following him.
If I was Little Juan out, I would pit soon. Because else we might see an accident happening to him, like Mansell's and Rory Huntsman, and that's what we don't want to see.
Definitely, maybe the little one is just wanting to wait for everyone behind him to go into the pit lane, and then pit and rejoin in lead, like Mansell's has done right now. Mansell's into the pit lane, followed by Draper. Only 9 laps completed on the softs, so not too long of a stint for them, but he is going back on those red tires, fresh this time. So another 8 laps on the softs for him. He needs a pretty mega stint to get back to the likes of Quickiller. Mansell's rejoins just behind that Aston Martin, but with the fresh softs he probably should be in attack distance pretty soon. Only 1.3 seconds behind now.
Little Juan with a huge moment.
Once again, indeed, Leon 4/10 gaining. So the little one really struggling on those tires. 17 lap old already.
Indeed, if I was Little Juan, I would pit this lap. I won't stay out for one more lap. Because one more lap I think will cost him dearly.
Definitely does if he can't get it back on track. That is already 6/10. Leon is making up to the little one. Let's see what the Ferrari decides to do. I think he is going into the pit lane, steers to the left indeed. Indeed he is going.
Yes, he's pitting. For dear God, he's pitting.
Oh, slight hit of the wall on the pit entry, but I don't think there is damage on that car. Leon taking it a bit safer in the pit lane. McConey, he is staying out, and he will go into the race lead.
Change the front wing of Little Juan.
Definitely some damage there, so that is probably why there was damage, and maybe Leon can come out ahead of him, and he did! Leon has jumped the little one in the pit lane.
Indeed. And McConey is leading the race with 10 seconds. Will the streak come to an end in the streets of Azerbaijan?
Second week in a row where he definitely has that chance. He can get those hearts to the end. I have fully faith in him. The big question now is though if Leon and the little one can catch back up to him, because it was 10 seconds coming out of the pit, but it's already down to 9 seconds, 7 laps to go. I'm not convinced that McConey can manage that gap and stay ahead of him.
Indeed, as they're catching really quickly.
The saving grace for McConey will be if Leon and the little one will battle. Murphy deciding to retire in the pit lane. He didn't. He just thought that one little point wasn't worth those 7 laps of continuously pain and suffering. So he decides to call it a day with his teammate in P11 in this train, led by Fandango, and being on the heels is Quickiller on the Williams. Fresh mediums compared to fresh hards. it's always going to be fresh mediums, because the hard's only really a viable race tire if they are gone a pretty long way, like Marconi has done them, but then they are still pretty slow. So Quick Killer will probably have a pretty easy pass on this straight.
Little Juan catching very quickly to Leon.
Not making the moves of Victor Mean. He has gone into the pit lane. I don't think that's the right strategy goal. I think you can really make those mediums 18 laps, and then he was really on for a very strong result. But he is going on to fresh softs as Quick Killer, making his way past Fandango as well. And now it is Mezzels on those fresh softs behind his teammate. I think Fandango will let him by on this straight to give him the freedom to chase after Quick Killer.
And Little Juan will also be needed to get past Leon and maybe try to win the race, as Quick Killer is already up to 7th.
The Quick Killer is making moves. Fandango not letting his teammate by. Not sure if that was the right call. I think when Fandango would have dropped behind Mezzels, Mezzels could have attacked Quick Killer, and then Fandango could have just easily stayed with him. Phineas Chimp going in for another pit stop, and there Fandango has let Mezzels by a little bit too late, and now Jacko with a move on Fandango as well, but the switchback of Fandango, and they're going almost side to side into the castle, but brilliantly defended by the Williams, who stays ahead for the moment. But all this has meant that Mezzels is outside of the DRS of Quick Killer. Let's keep an eye on the little one.
The one closer to Leon than he was last lap. Last lap the gap was 6 tenths, now the gap is 3 tenths. And the gap is decreasing and decreasing whilst they're catching Marconi as well. If the Little Juan can clear Leon right now, he will set sail after Marconi. He clears Little Juan clears Leon, starts the fast lap of the race as well. And he's going to set sail after Marconi now.
Fast lap set for good measure there, while overtaking Leon, just showing off basically at this point. But Leon with a pretty good exit out of turn 2, not using his ERS though, so he won't make the move past Jacko. Now finally getting past Fandango for good. And Mezzels making his way almost back in that DRS zone, just 600s too far back. But he is back in the DRS zone, and Leon and Little One continue to catch up to Marconi, already 3 seconds. In 2 laps the gap has gone down by 7 seconds. I don't think Marconi is gonna hold on here.
Yeah, but Marconi with another heartbreak of a race. You'll still end up on the podium, I'm definitely sure of that.
I tend to agree, yeah, Warrensman is just too far back. Warrensman somehow though still in P4 after spinning out of the lead. That's just shown if you one spin is affordable, not to get on the podium, but to be right back there.
With that virtual safety car.
Indeed.
Spin.
I think basically everyone, including Jacko here now, in the castle section for a spin. I don't think anyone really without damage.
DRS, I think
DRS is yeah, indeed. The detection point is just gone past, and he was outside of it.
DRS.
So he will have a very hard time staying with the Ferrari as the little one sets another fastest lap. Victor Mean, though, he is close.
Every point can count for Little Juan. That's because fastest laps can cost you the championship.
They can cost you the championship, or they can gain you the championship. That is just the nature of the point system. Victor Mean indeed making his way past Tom Tippel on the straight. Jacko going for another pit stop. And Marconi is really looking in his mirrors, and he's just seeing that red dot of the little one becoming closer and closer and bigger, and now inside that 1 second as well. It's only a matter of time before Marconi gets passed by these two guys. And
Indeed,
Leon, go on.
Indeed, that prancing horse is looking for victory.
Yeah, and Leon is probably using Marconi though to get back in the DRS, but he didn't have the best of castles.
We know what happened last week when Marconi and Little Juan were battling for the race lead.
That really didn't quite work out. Little one don't go for it here. He didn't go for it just yet. And indeed, Leon back in the DRS. Makoni has helped him out. Already derating as Makoni, so he won't have any chance. He will be a sitting duck on this straight to at least the little one, and maybe even Leon as well. Although Leon is really far.
Open. Before the little one nearly got him before the wing was even opened.
Yeah, that just shows the straight line speed of Makoni isn't really that good. Jarko with another one. Another spin in the caster section, and Leon desperately needs to get past Makoni on this straight. A little bit of a tap on the back, and that won't do him any good. The DRS on Makoni as well, and that is why Leon isn't getting past. Has to wait for another lap, and the little one is gonna drive away with it.
Indeed.
Now, if he doesn't make any mistakes.
As well, Mazel's looking to try and catch Quickle and get past Quickle. Our Jacko is retired from the race.
And it is on track, so maybe a safety car. I think it is still on time.
I think
Oh,
it's too
Makoni!
late to-
Makoni!
Safety car!
Makoni for another spin. And indeed a safety car.
Quickle will lose a lot of positions with a safety car because everybody behind him is on softs. I think no, not everybody.
It
But
does
most
depend
guys.
who is gonna pit. Rory Huntsman with a 5-second penalty. That is because he
Yeah.
overtook Makoni there. That was
Makoni was
bollocks.
spinning. I think he will get that removed too far. That penalty will be removed. I think should be removed.
You really can't get it removed because there is a late safety car though. That's the problem. If he decides to enter the pit now, he can't get that penalty removed, unfortunately.
I know, but I think Warrens will stay out.
He definitely does need to, because otherwise he would just
Yeah.
lose too many positions. But Little One and Leon, the ball is in their hands. Do they go into the pit lane? Don't think so.
If I were there, I
Fresh
would
softs.
stay out because pitting will be not so smart.
Yeah, they are already on fresh softs. Rory Huntsman though, he is going for it. As is
No.
Makoni.
Oh, why is he pit? To be fair, I think he'll stay. I think he'll stay in. As Gauthier moves into the podium places.
Indeed, Christopher into P4 as well. Quilla into the pit as well. Mezels staying out because he is indeed that's the wise thing to do. Victor Mean don't go in. Indeed, staying out because he's on pretty fresh softs. So
This can
Quickilla.
be a massive race for the championship.
Indeed, Rory Huntsman,
If you ask
Makoni,
me.
Quickilla. I don't think they made the right strategy call there. Just too few guys into the pit lane. And the likes of Mezels, Victor Mean already on pretty fresh softs. Fandango here is going to be very much struggling, as is Christopher and Gautier Levelon. Maybe those two with not the best of strategy calls, because the safety car is coming in this lap. There's just a lock on that minimum of 2 racing laps after the safety car. And look at that, there's this lapped car of Funny Ass Chimp in between Leon and Gautier Levelon. Just like last week. There's a lapped car coming into play on the safety car, so Leon will not really have any danger from behind, just all focus on the little one.
Indeed, it's still all to play for now. Even for the likes of Gauthier, still can win the race.
But on 8 lap on mediums it will be very, very tough for him. Safety car message indeed there. It will go in this lap. And the likes of Rory Huntsman definitely to keep an eye out on. Because they need to make the moves. The question is, where does the little one go? Leon very close to the Ferrari. Be careful that you don't touch him, because then it is going to be a 5-second time penalty. Gautier Levelon just stuck behind that Haas. Can't really do anything other than just go as close as he can. But where does the little one go, and does Leon get a good tow? Very close again. We saw it last time. It doesn't go. We saw it last time. Quickilla went pretty good, but now Leon caught off guard. A little moment of one wheel spin as well.
Look one column, napping, I'm afraid.
Yeah, the wheel spin really didn't help Leon either. Got 11 on lapping Vanillas Chimp another time, and it's all kicking off behind Quickler with a penalty. Just looking a bit further back on board of Victorine, Rory Huntsman into the inside of turn 2, and he does make the move stick, just leaving enough space on the outside there for the Alpine. So the top 6 staying in position, interestingly, but Rory Huntsman already in one position being made, and Quickler, that 3-second penalty is going to be huge, because then it is going to drop him behind the likes of Marconi and AFO. Still yet to pick up a penalty, but Quickler into turn 4, past Victorine with a good move. Rory Huntsman past Fandango as well, but Fandango wasn't having any of it. Shoved Rory Huntsman a bit wide, and there it is, just so tough to go side to side. Contact made there with the wall and each other as well. Quickler being hit in the rear by Fandango, and all so close going into the castle, but no one side to side luckily, and the little one, good restart, already out of the 1 second.
And Gauthier just trying to hold on to that podium after having so much bad luck in tier 3.
Indeed, it is so close here. Going into turn 15 as well. Fandango hitting the wall. Just that curb a bit too much into the wall, and definitely damage to that Williams car. Just drop back even further. Quickler in P7 sets inside on Rory Huntsman, and Rory Huntsman setting his side on Messels. The final lap is about to go, and Leon is only 6 tenths behind the little one.
This will be very interesting.
More than interesting. Maybe we can see a finish like we saw in the sprint, where Leon just goes past the little one on the line. But little one just have a little bit more ERS from what I last saw. Huntsman not getting past Mazzos, and Mazzos not getting past Christopher either. Even though the Mercedes does have a lot less life in those tires, 13 laps already on the mediums, and it is a spinner of Fandango in the back. Not the safety car restart he would have hoped for by any means. And with that penalty, Quickler will drop back to P9 at the moment. But Marconi and Victorine side to side. Rory Huntsman having a look there as well. Marconi and Victorine going side to side the corner before the castle. Backing out of it was Victorine, so they didn't have a side to side moment into the castle. Wisely done by both of them. Leon dropping out of the 1 second from the little one. So probably the fight for the race lead over there, but the fight for P5 definitely isn't over. Rory Huntsman very close to Mazzles. Is he gonna make a move into this corner? No, he just isn't. Goes a little bit wide there as well, and that compromises his exit. Goes onto the curb a little bit too much, and now Quickler is all over the back of the Alfa Romeo. Leon coming closer and closer to the little one, but not close enough. The little one is gonna win this race, but Quickler and Rory Huntsman will stay very close. Little one with the race win. Leon in P2. Let's quickly switch back.
Gauthier P3.
Gauthier indeed P3. Rory Huntsman keeping on for P6, just behind Mazzos. Only 0.05 of a second. Quickler dropping back to P8.
What a race. Do I tag the podium? See if they want to do an interview?
Yeah, definitely. Go for it. And another below average result for Quickler, as he only really dropping back from the little one the last couple of races. Only Imola where he got some points. So the championship is open.
Indeed. I will quickly. What was the gap between them?
The point gap for this race?
Yeah.
It was 71 points. Then the sprint race, the one gained 2 points as well.
Points 42. Did he also get fast lap?
Let's quickly have a look. Did another late? Indeed he did.
So that is 43 points for the one, and so he gained 30 points on Quickler.
Only 41 points left then. That's doable in only one race.
Leon wants the interview, and Le Juan as well.
If you
And
could
I think Gautier
invite
might.
them to the party
That's
and
it.
quickly go through the results. So indeed, Little One holding on after that safety car, after basically holding off Leon the entire race, after following Marianne's in the beginning of it. He finishes in P1, Leon in P2, Gautier left on. I think the first podium of the season for him. Chris
I will
Deville,
also.
solid result for him in P4. Mezels P5, Robbie Huntsman P6, Marconi P7, Quickella disappointing in P8, Victor Mean P9 and AFL rounding up the top 10. Tom Tip-Top van Hengo Draper. Funny ass Chimp also scoring points, and then it's Jacko, Murphy and Dragon on speed not finishing the race.
And I'll also invite Gautier just in case he wants it as well.
Definitely.
Alright, the party invites are sent to the guys. With water race as well. The constructors are looking interesting, but they only getting I think 15 points.
Yeah, definitely not the greatest results for Aston Martin.
As Ferrari is gaining closer. Here we have Le Juan. Good evening. His mic is still muted. Leon has arrived as well.
Yeah, Cateleflon indeed doesn't have a mic.
So do we have the top two here in the party at the moment?
Go on, if you want to do the interviews, it's all yours.
Oh no, you can do them if you want.
No, I'll do them every week, so it's your moment now.
Alright. Good evening, Leon and Le Juan. Who wants to start?
Redemption.
Yeah, indeed, mate. Indeed, he did good.
Yeah.
How do you feel after that win and Curricular finishing down the order?
I feel quite good with that one. I've got to say congratulations to Leon. You kept me very honest through the entire race, really. So well done, great pace from you, mate.
Yeah, thank you. Same goes to you.
Cheers.
Indeed, Leon, you must be pleased with another podium. Finally.
Yeah, happy with it. I think I could have won, but then I got pushed into the wall lap turn one, as well, so it wasn't fun.
Indeed. That late safety car was also pretty exciting as a lot of things were going on. Lots of people getting desperate for the positions. But you two just kept it cool, kept racing, trying to battle each other.
I can tell you it wasn't exciting for me.
Yeah.
Neither here.
I must say, I bet Lil Juan, you'll be happy when you saw that Quickler got the 8 and you got the race win. You catched Quickler by 30 points today.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's great. I didn't know how many points I closed in. It's still a tough ask, but you know, anything's possible.
Indeed, 2 races remaining. It will get exciting now.
Yeah, I can't wait to get stuck in.
Neil, it seems like you have a P3 in the bag as well.
P3?
And the championship.
Ah, okay, makes sense now, yeah. Yeah, it might do, but 2 more races left, as you said.
Indeed.
And Marconi and KXI will be definitely trying to outscore me, like everyone else. It's gonna be tough, of course, but I do come with an advantage.
Indeed. So I must say thanks to you fine gentlemen for joining us tonight. With me and Bumpy. If Bumpy wants to ask another question to you guys.
No, you basically took the words out of my mouth. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, no, I think that concludes tonight as well. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for racing here. Thank you in particular to Wild Dog for joining me today. I hope you can race next week again.
Hope it too, mate. Was fun doing comps with you. If I can't race next week, I'll help you out again.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to next week indeed. But see you all next time.